you can get started on that book, the gym, your business right now because you don't need as much time as you think. And please do not use the excuse of school or work on me because I grew a following on TikTok while going to college full time and working 9-hour shifts at Walmart. More time is not the answer. Paradoxically, less time is. And by the end of this video, you're going to understand what I mean by that, and you're going to be using less time to finally work on what matters to you. Now, I know we've all gone through this experience. When we're sitting on the floor, we're in our room, and we're thinking we're gonna use the bathroom soon. We're gonna shower. I was in that predicament. I'm sitting here thinking I'm about to shower, but 20 minutes have gone by, 30 minutes have gone by, and I still haven't showered. But my mom was in the living room on the phone, and I could hear a conversation, and I still had not gotten up to take the shower. But when I heard her say, "Girl, let me get off this phone. I'm about to hop in the shower." Would you believe me when I told you I was up on my feet in that shower immediately? Because I was gonna shower first. You can't take that away from me. Now here's the thing. How? Why did I make that shift? What forced me in that moment to go from I'm gonna shower but I'm gonna wait 30 minutes because I don't really feel like it to my time is running out. I hear my mom saying she's gonna shower and me immediately getting in that shower. It's something called the Parkinson's law. And once you understand the Parkinson's law and you start using this in your life, things will change for you. So let me explain it. Imagine there's a teacher and they give this student a project and say, this needs to be done within the month. Well, within the month, close to the end of it, the student brings in the project and says it's done. Cool beans, okay. Well, let's say this same teacher picks a different student and says, hey, I want you to complete this project in 2 weeks. Same project, just a different timeline. That student, close towards the end of 2 weeks, turns in the project, is done. Parkinson law states that the amount of time we give to something, that thing grows to take up all that time. And I didn't say it verbatim, but that's basically how my understanding of it is. And so to make this make more sense, the teacher gave the students each a project with different time zones to be completed. One within a month, another within 2 months. Both projects got completed. So it wasn't the amount of time that was given to complete the project that helped them complete it. It was actually the deadline that told them it has to be done in this time that got them to move forward and get the project completed. And the same thing happened to me. I said I wanted to shower, but I had no time limit to when it could be done. And so I was able to waste time, 30 minutes passing by, because I knew eventually at some point I was going to get to it. But the truth was, I never was, because Parkinson's law states that the amount of time you give to something, it will expand to fit it. So in this instance, I had given no timeline to when I wanted to finish this, when I wanted to take the shower. So it just expanded. It just kept expanding. Like there was nothing getting me to go take this shower until my mom said, "Let me go ahead and hop in the shower." That implicitly stated that my time, like I had to go take the shower now. Because if I didn't, my mom would get in and that would stop me from doing what I want to do. So I went from having, I'm going to shower whenever to my mom's about to get in the shower. I need to take a shower. I took the shower. Now, you understand Parkinson's law. You understand that you need that if a deadline is added to something, that will cause it to be completed. But if there's no deadline, it won't get done. Now look at your life and think about the things you said you want to achieve, the things you want to do. Are there deadlines or not? Parkinson's law is either working for you or it's working against you. If there are no deadlines for when you want to complete things, it's working against you. Meaning you continue to think about, I want this to be done, I want this to be done, but it won't be done because what you want to be done is expanding to the time you allocate to it. What time have you allocated to it? None. None. So it just continues to expand and you continue to do nothing. But the minute you say, I want to do this by this time, the continued expansion stops. You see a clear deadline that you're working towards. You don't have forever to do it. You've got to get started now, so that when you approach this deadline, you've completed it. Now the Parkinson's law is working for you. So if we want to start using the Parkinson's law for you, first I want you to think about the goal you want to achieve. That can be big or small. So for example, one goal I want to achieve is making money online. Another goal I want to achieve is movement, just having more movement in my life. Another goal I want to achieve is writing a book, right? So I have big goals, small goals. You can have whatever goal you want. Just say something, whatever goal. You don't have to have a lot. Just have something. Now, when you have your goal, what you want to do is break that goal down and think about what are the 1 to 3 most important behaviors you can take to reach that goal. So, for example, I said my goal is I want to make money online. So, what are the most important behaviors I can take right now to make money online? One is having a product or service to sell. Two is getting people in front of that product or service, which could be making content. So, literally, to make money online, all I gotta do is have a product or service to sell and make content so people can get in front of it. And then the third one, of course, should be providing the service or product. But that's like I'm gonna do that regardless. So I didn't really include that as a behavior. But that's how simple it is. For movement, it could literally be just going outside every day. That's like my one behavior I want to do that's going to help me have more movement. Because if I go outside, chances are high that I'm going to go for a walk. I'm going to go to the basketball court. I'm going to do something because going outside is a cue for me to take like the move, right? So now that you're thinking about your goal, and please do this along with me. If you have not started doing this, do this because if you wait until the end of the video and you think I'm gonna get it done, you're not gonna go back and watch it. I promise you. So right now, pause the video and write down your goal. Any goal, like it can be big or small. You don't have to think of some heroic goal, just something you want to do. And then think about what are the 1 to 3, no more than 3 behaviors you can do every day to make the most progress on that. And this is very simple. This shouldn't take you more than 5 minutes to do. Like, this is not something hard. Okay. Now, if you figured out the behaviors, you got your goal written down. Make sure that you add a number to that behavior. Okay, this is the next step. So literally look at the behavior you wrote down and just add a number. So for me, going back to the make money goal, I said one behavior is to have a product or service. The next behavior is to, what I say, post content. So how can I add a number to these 1, 2, 3, to these two things? Well, to make the product or service, this is kind of tricky. There's not really a number I need to make. Like, I'm not going to make 5 services or products. So what I can do instead is say, I want this to be completed within 2 weeks. There's a number to that, 2 weeks. Now, what about with YouTube? Now, this is a behavior that I'm going to be doing, or not YouTube, but just making content. This is a behavior I'll be doing more consistently, so I can more easily add a number to this. I could say I want to upload 5 videos a week. That's how I'm going to upload my content, right? When it comes to, what was another one I said? I said movement, right? Okay, now I'm saying the behavior is going outside. The number I'll put to that is going outside for 2 minutes every day. So you're seeing how easy it is to add a number, and sometimes there will be some goals that or some behaviors that you can't really add a number to, like a number to, like I said with my making a sales page. And if that's something you're dealing with, then just add a deadline to that instead, right? So you're either gonna have a number to your behaviors or a deadline, but either way, there will be a number. Make sure you're doing this with me. I promise you we're almost through, but you should have now a goal, a behavior, 1 to 3, and a number attached to each of those behaviors. The last thing you want to do is for any goal that does not have a deadline on it and it's just a behavior with a number, add a deadline. And that is the last step, adding a deadline. So now you have the goal, the behavior, numbers you can track so you will actually do the behaviors, It makes it more specific. It's not vague anymore. Because if I said I just want to post content, it's like, okay, then what? Like, what? But because I said I want to post 5 YouTube videos, it's more easy for me to make 5 YouTube videos and just post content. Because what does post content mean, you know? So now you have a number you can track to that behavior and a deadline. That is a crazy concoction that will influence your human behavior, influence your behavior, and help you do what matters most to you. Like, this is one of those things that is really important to help you live by more design. Now, you may face a problem that once you have the behaviors, you have the deadlines, you have the number you can track written out, you're just not doing the behavior. Let me make sure I'm still okay. So that may be something you're facing. And if you're facing that, it's because you just don't have a plan. And making a plan is really simple. Literally, just plug in your behavior into this formula. I will do behavior at time or event and environment. That is really simple. You've already got your behavior written out. You've done all the hard work. Just plug your behavior into that sentence and fill out time or event. Time will be like, I will do this at 2 p.m. Really simple. An event is something you're already doing. Something you do every day. So you could say, I will read a book after I have breakfast because you have breakfast every day. Or you could say, I will I will. Let me think. I'm trying to think of something like very vague, like very like not vague, but something that you probably want to think of, so I can show you that you can literally make this plan with anything. So maybe I'll say I will ride my bicycle after I brush my teeth in the morning. I will write a love letter to my wife when before I watch TV. You know, it's like an event is something you already do. I'm hoping that this makes sense to you. And an environment is just the space you're gonna be in. So like your living room, your bedroom, anything like that. Just plug it into that formula, and that will increase your chances of doing that behavior from 35 to 38%, all the way up to 91%. So that's a huge gap from 35 to 38%. That's your range of doing the behavior. With this plan, that goes up to 91%. So that's what's really important. Make sure you make that plan. And if you do make that plan, put it as your wallpaper. Like if you wrote it on your notes app, put it as your wallpaper so you can see it. I'll show you an example of what that can look like. Or if you wrote down on a piece of paper, just have it somewhere that you can see it twice a day. You see my goal board? I see that twice a day, once in the morning, once at night. And I do that so that I will be constantly reminded of what matters to me, what am I doing, what am I attempting to do every single day. So that when I have free time to choose what I want to do, I'm more likely to choose the behaviors that matter most to me than just choosing to randomly entertain myself with things that don't matter to me, that I'm not going to remember within an hour. You feel me? And this actually, making a plan like this helped me get out of the house on time. Not even just a plan, but just setting a deadline. I was getting out of the house around 7:30 when normally I should be getting out at 7 a.m. But I was staying later to be with my girl. I'm not gonna lie, I'm a simp or whatever. But I realized I really want to get out because it was cutting into my time being outside and exercising and playing. It really matters to me. So I set the deadline that 7:05 a.m. That is when I've got to be out the house, out the apartment. And the first 2 days, I didn't get out at exactly 7:05. It was like 7:20 one day and then 7:17 the next day. But the third day, I was finally out at 7:05 a.m. And even though my girl was giving me puppy dog eyes and trying to get me to stay a little bit later, I was able to stay firm in that because I set the deadline, I knew what I wanted to do, and I was able to execute on that. But if I just continued saying, I want to get out of the house earlier, I want to get out of the house earlier, but I set no deadline for like when exactly do I want to get out, I would still be saying that. I would still be saying it. So that's how important this is. So right now, put in the comments what is your goal and what the behaviors you're going to do with your deadline. Get that practice in. You want to continuously write this stuff down. So this is why I want you to write down in the comments. Get your practice in. Because this, like, living by attention, living by design is really what you're aiming for. Because that's how you're going to do what matters most to you. By planning out how you do it. Because if you don't, then all the forces around you will pull you into doing nothing. Like the default mode of life, if you look around, is doing nothing. It is going to work and then coming home and doing nothing. Life is so easy nowadays. You can entertain yourself at the snap of a button, at the snap of a finger. If you want food to come to your doorstep, you can have it come to you. You want groceries to come to you, you can have it come to you. Everything is easy. We don't have to do anything, and we're in this modern world with a brain that's lazy. We have a lazy brain in a world of convenience. So the default mode, if you look around, is doing nothing but just entertaining yourself and living an easy life. But you don't want that. You want to live by design. You want to live intentionally and put your attention on things that matter most to you. And maybe up to this point you haven't been doing that, but now you can because you know how to do that. And if you want to learn more about living by design, living with intentionality, I do have a course called Live by Design. It's the first thing in my description. You can go check that out. Now, no one may reach success by just accidentally getting there. People got to the success through intention. They made a plan. They knew what they were going to do. And this is one of those things you have to do to be more intentional. Having your goal, knowing the behaviors, planning it out, having a number you can track. Now, if you don't reach your goal by your deadline, like you've written this out, you've done this for it, you've done this. This is something that can happen. You can have a goal and not reach it by the deadline. Does that mean you failed? Imagine you set the goal to make 10K within the month, and well, not 10K, but $1,000 within the month. I'm sorry, and you made 750. Is that a failure? No, that's a win because you came to this month with nothing and you got 750 out of the 1,000 you wanted to get. And that's a big W. So you don't feel pressured to make sure that you get to this deadline with everything done, because even if you made 50% of the way, 60%, 70%, that is awesome because you made progress. Then you just make a new goal and go after that. But I will tell you this one thing. If you don't use deadlines to your advantage, Parkinson's law will continue to work against you. I promise you, you will not achieve the goals you want. You just won't. But if you do start using the Parkinson's law in your favor, you will have that unending drive to do the behaviors to achieve the things that matter most to you, because you now know you don't have forever to do it. You have until this time. So now it's time to get the work in. You will have that drive. Human behavior really works based off a few things you can change right here, right now. I mean, you can change your state of being just through your thought alone, just through how you're thinking. So this plan you're gonna make is really gonna help you out. If you like this video and you want more, hit subscribe. Sorry that it's a little bit longer, but I'll see you for the next video.